38 states
Sure.
are in some stage of reopening right now, even though some projections of fatalities are doubling. And former New Jersey Governor Christie claims it's a sacrifice Americans have to make before. And they have made the sacrifice before. Take a listen. Yeah.
We sent our young men during World War II over to Europe, out to the Pacific, knowing that many of them would not come home alive. And we decided to make that sacrifice because what we were standing up for was the American way of life. Of course, everybody wants to save every life they can. But the question is, towards what end ultimately? Are there ways that we can thread the middle here to allow that there are going to be deaths, and they're going to be deaths no matter what?
Well, I mean, it seems to me that people have made the sacrifices they can make, and I think that you can't say for somebody else, you have to make the sacrifice, because then they'll turn and say, well, are you willing to sacrifice one of your family members? Is that what you're okay doing?
Right.
So have we reached that point where we're ready to get back to business as usual without being really smart about doing it? What do you think, Sonny?
No, we haven't reached that point, Whoopi. And I think what's incredible is he's posing this false dilemma, right? Either if people go to work, they will die, but if people don't go to work, they will die. The quarantine is not killing people. The quarantine is saving people's lives. What's killing people is the coronavirus. And this is a country, through tax cuts, that gave billions of dollars to the wealthy. And so why can't this country spend money to save people's lives? We can spend money to help people, or we can just let them die. So the wealthy people are the people that can just kind of stay at home, right? The people that can't stay at home are the people that are on the front lines, the people that are going to work, the people that have to go to work. So I just don't understand why the government that's failed miserably by waiting 70 days to help people, why can't we just spend money to save lives? So this little false dilemma that we're hearing from so many of the Republicans is just that. It's just false. It's just not true.
And Joy, what do you think about the World War II comparison?
Well, it's a false analogy. It's a completely ridiculous analogy. First of all, when you are in a hot war, which was what World War II was, that is called a national response. The president, with the Congress's approval, declares war. In this particular situation where we're fighting what he calls the invisible enemy, he is basically leaving everything up to the states. So that is not the equivalent of World War II, Governor Christie, with all due respect. And number two, you need leadership, like we had with FDR. We don't have leadership here. We have somebody who blames other people, somebody who tells the states, you're basically, fight each other for PPEs. We're not going to help you that much. Somebody who is getting tested, by the way, while the rest of us are not. And by the way, Governor, I thought you were pro-life. Are you pro-life or are you not pro-life? Because you need to really straighten that out. And also, which lives are we talking about? Are we talking about the medical workers who are in the front lines there? To Sonny's point, these are the people who are going to be at most risk. And, in World War II, we sacrificed young lives, and it seems like they're willing to sacrifice old lives this time. To what? To save the economy. Well, another point I'll just make really fast, because I don't know a lot about it, but I did hear somebody talk about the Marshall Plan, which we put in after World War II to basically save Europe, from going into another depression. So if they had the money and the wherewithal and the will for a Marshall Plan for Europe, why can't we have a Marshall Plan for the United States?
Mm-hmm. Well, here's my question. I mean, people talk about, that expendable lives. Well, whose? Is your family's life expendable? And why do you get to come out without your mask and breathe all over and endanger me or my family when I'm trying to do what I'm supposed to do because you want to be free? We should all be doing this together. And the last thing I want to point out is we pay federal taxes every year. I'm sure the states pay, people pay individual. Some of that money is supposed to be stockpiled for situations like this. I don't understand. I know that people have paid into their unemployment insurance. That money should be sitting there. Their money should be sitting there. Where is their money? See, that extra money was for folks who don't have those situations where they can put money into a plan like unemployment. But why are people who have paid into unemployment not able to get it? I don't understand what's happening. And maybe it's me, but protest rallies have popped up, you know, all over the country. And I'm just trying to figure out, why are you carrying a gun and screaming into a policeman's face? Isn't that assault? You're screaming at them, and maybe you've got the virus. What happens if he gets sick? Are you going to go to jail for assault? Or what if, God forbid, he should get the virus and pass away? You as the protester, are you not responsible for that?